Hey guys, today I have Dave here. Thanks for joining me, Dave.
How you doing, man?
Today's
Good?
topic, as you see, is why does Hublot get all of the hate? And we're going to go over a few of the reasons why. Now, if you haven't seen the Great Market podcast, we'll leave a link down below as well for you to watch that. The Avi and Marco did a pretty good podcast talking a little bit about Hublot and why the hate. Now, there's a big misconception, I feel like, within the watch collecting world as far as that. I feel like Hublot is more popular outside of the watch collecting world, wouldn't you say, Dave?
For sure. First of all, I have to say, man, we have Hublots. I'm not wearing anything on my wrist. All right, so I've been eyeing this one for a while. So if we can just shift this down the line, if you don't mind, I'm gonna wear this during the video. And first of all, elephant in the room, what are you doing? Why are you wearing a Richard Mille when we're reviewing Hublots? Come on, man. This is part of the reason the watch community that doesn't like Hublot, because they say, hey, look, Richard Mille did it first, da 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 da. I mean, I think Hublot's a great brand. You know, I think of it as more of as an elevated lifestyle brand because, you know, horologically, you know, there are a lot of novelties and a lot of great products that they've come out with, but mostly they're generic. Not didn't say generic, but they're mainline and special edition watches that they have are really catered towards people who want image more so than the quality or the
flex piece, basically.
Yeah, a flex piece, but
like RM.
That's watches in a nutshell, right? Where RM, is actually going out and manufacturing their own screws. Hublot, they do that to an extent, but it's economy of scale with them. So
they do use a lot of their own proprietary materials, like a Big Bang, and I do actually like this. This is almost like a UNC like sky blue here on this Unico. What are your thoughts on this one?
So yeah, this is actually really nice. Honestly, this is this is a Hublot. I'd have a Hublot as a fourth or fifth watch, just something that I could wear out to like a dodgy pool party or something where I don't mind getting it wet. I don't mind if somebody snatches it off my wrist or something. I have to say, the Hublot factory. When I'm from Geneva. I grew up in Geneva, and I would go to Lausanne, which is just up the lake from us, and I'd pass by the Hublot factory every day on my way to work. And it's a funny factory, right? So it's basically in the middle of, like, I wouldn't say farmland, but there's like a bunch of Swiss fields, and then you have like a random like industrial laundromat, and then you have like these big black buildings, and then that's the Hublot factory. We used to do there was a music festival out there, so it would be funny to have people just doing music festival stuff and then having like the Hublot factory behind it. But yeah, this is beautiful. I like the way that you can really quickly take away the bracelets, so you're able to swap them out. See, for all those non-watch people, when you just have the watch like that without the strap, it's called
the watch head. The
watch head, correct? Yeah. So, smell this. It smells good, huh?
Vanilla almost.
Exactly.
But Hublot was they were the first Swiss manufacturer to utilize a rubber bracelet on a metal material.
Correct.
Which a lot of people don't know. Hublot had a lot of firsts, didn't they?
Sure. So, I mean, you have when you're talking about Hublot, you have to break it down in two segments. So you have the first part of Hublot, which was Hublot MDM, right? So it was a gentleman called Carlo Crocco, I believe is his name, or Carol Crocco. And he was a businessman, an Italian gentleman, and he started Hublot. So, of course, drawing on the nautical themes with the portholes and such. But yeah, what that really I guess the market disruptor was to have those rubber bands with gold or with stainless steel. Now, I think that's pretty badass, and I really want like an original MDM Hublot,
And they are a relatively new company, being founded in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you my age, they're only 3 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So they are relatively new when compared to the Swiss industry, just like Richard Mille. Richard Mille is what, 2000, I believe?
Yeah. So Richard Mille coming really off the heels of the whole Renault Poppy kind of skunk works of Audemars Piguet. Richard Mille is more recent, but it's strange that Richard Mille gets hate as well, but Hublot just really, people had their sights on Hublot, and it was, when I was a kid, Hublot was the brand to have. When I was living in Geneva, when the Big Bang came out, everybody was going crazy for this watch.
All over Europe, Hublot is more popular than here in the United States, and even like Australia, I would say. It's probably because of the soccer advertising, boxing, and Formula One. I would say probably has a lot to do with that.
That's an interesting take. So the people in Switzerland who wore Hublots were generally like overseas students, so people coming from South America or Russia or something, and that's basically the crews that I used to hang out with when I was in high school, and everybody had a Hublot, you know, like that was my dream to have what is it called, the Black Magic Hublot. Mm-hmm. So the black ceramic, the black dial with the red you know, details on it. That was such a sweet piece. But yeah, going back to the history, so Hublot, right? I guess the second part of Hublot is when they were acquired by LVMH.
LVMH,
right?
yes,
and that's where
Jean-Claude Guibert.
Exactly, JCB, the master Yoda of the watch game, where he came and sprinkled his little 2 cents and actually turned the brand into be.
He saved Blancpain. He pretty much kind of saved Hublot too.
Correct. Well, actually, no, sorry. So LVMH was acquired. LVMH acquired Hublot after JCB made the brand, so it was already profitable. And then, you know, when LVMH was trying to kind of reinforce their stable of luxury watches, they bought Hublot, and then JCB retired. I think he's still on the board, but now it's another gentleman. Do you remember his name? I think he's an Argentine gentleman and stuff. You see him every once in a while in Geneva because they have their flagships there.
And they actually have a lot of pretty cool timepieces with a lot of complications, just like the one you're wearing, the Classic Fusion. I like that rose gold, this moon phase, and for what you get, as I like to say, for the money, my famous saying, I feel like secondary market is the way to go on Hublot. If you don't buy a brand new, like this, for instance, you're saving probably what, $20,000?
Oh, easy. I think that's like a $45,000 or $50,000 list, and I think we have it for like $19,000 or $20,000. About $20,000 for this. You know, this. You know, all things considered, this is a beautiful watch, and I just really wish it didn't have the H on it. As bad as that sounds, because like, you know, there was a point in my life where I was looking at this. You know, I was looking at the stainless steel version of this, and I was actually really close to.
I actually like the stainless steel version. I would buy that myself as well. It's the more classic kind of look to it, sports wise for sure.
So, for you, we don't have any representations here.
No.
And soon, I guess maybe we can go left to right, or right to left. But one watch that we don't have represented here is, what do you think of the Spirit of Big Bang?
That is a cool piece.
It is a cool piece. Yeah, that really does give off RM vibes to it. You know,
and
the fact that it has
the
a tonal
Fume dial, the rainbow. That one is
very, very, very cool. Very cool.
That is cool. We have a couple ceramics here, of course, which are pretty cool.
So this is the Orlinsky, right? So we had the blue and then we had the green, right? So Richard Orlinsky, very popular artist, right? So I don't know if you've ever seen, but he does those gorillas, right? So they're the gorillas that are kind of cubic, not cubic, but kind of have sharp angles to them, and that's basically what they were trying to exude with this model here. So we have the blue one, and I think this is the Mexico edition. Yeah, it is the Mexico edition.
Do you think that is another misconception among collectors? I think that's what kind of turns off a lot of watch geeks like ourselves, which that doesn't really turn me off that much, is all of the limited editions they do. I feel like they kind of overdo it with the limited editions. That's probably one of their misconceptions too. It's kind of like Omega does a lot of limited editions.
I mean, people might see it as gimmicky, but you know, one way to look at it is, you know, they think they use their watches as a canvas, all right, as like a blank canvas, and then, you know, they let the artists and their creative team kind of go with it. So you know, and that's difficult because they're not timeless, right? So something that, you know, a popular piece from like 10 years ago that was you know, very relevant to that point in time, you know, in the forward, it's not, you know, flash forward, it's not going to be so desirable because it's not as timeless. You know, you take some APs, right, from the 80s, you know, you wear them now and you say, wow, that's great. It could look like it could have made it today, right?
Just like Cartier.
Correct.
Pretty much.
Yeah, just like Cartier. Something like this, though, I have to say, this is pretty timeless. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, this is like futuristic and timeless at the same time. This could be, you could wear this in the year 20,100
and it would still look.
It'd look right in
It's like a car, just like a
Correct.
Ferrari.
Correct,
basically.
But
which was another limited edition they did. They worked with in conjunction with they had the Big Bang Ferrari or the Hublot Ferrari, which was a pretty cool piece. We've had a couple of those in the office as well.
Honestly, I just wish we could live in a universe where, I could rock one of these every day and people would be like, wow, that's a cool watch, because you can see that there was a lot of love put into these watches, I mean, not like love in the sense that, where you have like in like kind of like the way that it's romanticized with horology, kind of the lone watchmaker with his candle, sketching away. I mean, you can tell that it's very like industrial, very artificial, but I think that's really what Hublot is going for, kind of that maximalist approach to watchmaking.
And I will give them props because they are constantly thinking up new designs. They don't just kind of, as Marco likes to say, rest on their laurels. They don't rest on their laurels. They're constantly coming up with new, unique designs, constantly coming out with new.
Oh, of course. They're always trying to push the envelope and maybe find the next thing that's going to reinvigorate their brand. But I just think that they're, shout out to Nico. I think if they got Nico on board and he were to kind of reverse his role, I don't know how.
A lot more watch geeks would probably get into it.
They'd probably get into it and to get a co-sign by the man himself. The man who put the final nail in their coffin.
And another thing I think that people, or at least watch nerds, don't get about it or don't like about it is the price point because of the movement they use. They mainly use outsourced movements, be it whether ETA or Selena movement, which I think they started using more Selena lately. And I believe their chronographs are modified Valjoux, correct?
Yeah, they're modified 7750s, Valjoux. And I mean, yes. Okay, you'd think for this price point, for 20,000 plus, you're getting an in-house movement, correct? And I think a lot of where a lot of that price point is coming from is a lot of like the endorsements, a lot of the marketing spend, and I do see some elements here that the cases are really nicely executed. I think these are pretty nice in terms of fit and finish, but yeah, I think if they had more of a hands-on approach with the whole, manufacturing process of the movements, then you could justify some of these higher price points.
And obviously LVMH is a marketing giant, owning Louis Vuitton, among many other brands, so they have the money to market in Formula One or market in, as they call it in New York football, they call it soccer over here, but they market a lot of soccer. And again, boxing, they sponsor a lot of boxers. I believe Floyd Mayweather was sponsored by Hublot.
Maybe. I think he was an ambassador, or I mean, you don't know. He probably just bought, he probably was trying to buy the company at some point, and they're like, no, here's a watch.
But I think that's one of the misconceptions. But as we mentioned, though, I feel like it's a lot more popular elsewhere in the world besides just like the United States, Canada. But I feel like Europe, Asia, they're really popular in Asia as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hublots are interesting in the kind of developing world, right? So you have a lot of people in South America, a lot of people in Africa, a lot of people in Asia who really like these watches because, they're kind of selling this lifestyle, They're selling this lifestyle. They're selling the image, right? And if you're able to get them for a discounted price, then they present quite a lot of value if you're able to kind of, align your ambitions and your ideals with kind of the lifestyle and the ethos that the brand is trying to exude. So that makes sense for a lot of points. And I really, honestly, this is a beautiful watch.
I do like that classic.
I can't. As soon as I walked in the room, I saw this classic fusion. I'm not gonna buy it.
If I were gonna get either of these, it would either be that one or the Big Bang.
Yeah, for me, okay. How about let's do this without scratching them. Let's rank them from best to worst. How about that?
All right.
Let's vote on them. Okay.
Okay, I'll start from best. I would say my favorite.
Okay.
Second favorite.
Okay.
Probably the third favorite here.
Third favorite, yeah.
The colors, I don't know what it is. The colors just kind of draw me. Fourth favorite here.
Yeah. Well, okay.
And then definitely that one would be fifth.
Okay, so this is the Vendôme edition. So Place Vendôme. This is a really nice limited edition. So where was this going?
Fifth.
Fifth?
And then actually these are probably right in order here.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's a little heavy to me.
It is. This is a heavy watch, and it it looks like a.
Definitely takes a bigger statue.
No, what's that? What's that brand that everybody likes to? It's like what's that like bodybuilder watch brand? What is it called?
Oh,
so not. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it, but I can't think of the name of it. They make huge gaudy watches.
They make those huge watches. I mean, come on. Like this is. No one's gonna look at it and be like, oh, such a beautiful watch. You know, like come on, this is too much here. But hey, actually, I do have a client who reached out for this exact watch, so.
But yeah, guys, that's our take on Hublot and why we think it's the most hated, probably one of, if not the most hated brand among watch geeks, anyways.
This is the brand that collectors and enthusiasts love to hate, but I don't know if the hate is 100% justified. All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me, guys. You know what to do. Comment down below. Do you like Hublot? Do you not like Hublot? Are you indecisive? Let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.